All right, everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Feel Good Friday. And I got to tell you, the first 2 weeks was dedicated to the number one topic that came up, which was, of course, relationships, right? And so dedicated 2 weeks to that. I hope you found that information very informative and helpful. But what is different about today's Feel Good Friday? Oh, yeah, someone joining me. Why? Because the second most asked question was, what the blankety blank is coaching? I mean, really, what is it all about? And instead of me trying to answer that question for you, I thought, let's get a client's perspective. So I would like you to welcome Lauren from Spokane, Washington, and the crowd goes wild.
Hi.
Hi, Lauren. Thank you so much for being here today and being a very special guest. We're definitely doing something different in the Feel Good Friday format. And, just a little background on Lauren. She is the owner and has been the owner of Soulful Soups and Spirits. And for about 9 years, very successful in what she does, has a beautiful product. But I'll tell you, if you're ever in the downtown Spokane area, go check her out. You'll love it. But she's also got a huge project that she's currently working on. And tell us a little bit about that, Lauren.
So I have two partners in a project up at Schweitzer Mountain in Idaho. And we bought a 6,000 square foot building and decided to make condos in it and a restaurant. One of my partners is a contractor, and my other partner owns a restaurant across the street from Soulful in downtown. He owns Wild Dogs. And the two of us have wanted to partner for a while. And so now we're renovating and remodeling and demolitioning, and I don't even know all the stuff we're doing to this building to build the condos. And then we'll get the restaurant rolling hopefully by the ski season.
All right. Again, go check them out. So Lauren, again, thank you so much for being here today. And I'm going to actually pull out some of the questions here that kind of all fell under that category of, what is coaching, and, what is it really all about? And so the first question was, my life is pretty good. Why would I need a life coach? So I want to ask you, Lauren, how were you introduced to coaching, and what were your initial thoughts even around the idea of coaching?
My sister actually started working with you probably a year before I did. And so that was the introduction for me after seeing the evolution for her and the way that she was communicating with me, that it made me want to communicate better like she was. And so right away, I knew that there was some value to that for sure. And the way Zoe explained it to me was like, it's not therapy. It's like literally Larnette has no agenda. She doesn't give a shit what you do. She just wants you to do you. And I'm like, well, shouldn't I be doing what's right or wrong? No, it doesn't matter. It's all about figuring out what's right for you. And that was what I gathered from Zoe, was that you were a resource to help her figure it out for herself. And I just saw her change in the best ways.
Okay. Yeah, that is absolutely true. Being able to help someone to figure out who their true authentic self is in order to, and how they're going to show up and what it is that they actually want to achieve, right?
Intention.
And so, I'm sorry?
Intention. Like it helps us with that.
Exactly. And so then the follow-up question to that is, so does it really work? So, how has the coaching process changed how you show up in life now?
Like insane. So originally I thought I was coming to talk with you regarding my personal life. I thought that was going to be a really big topic for me, but it ended up business. My work was what was bothering me, and I had no idea. Like all just things started to come up. So then I started addressing what was happening at work and communicating different there, and figuring out what my intentions were. And all of a sudden that trickled into my personal life. without even knowing it. And the way it's affected me is like everybody around me, honestly, I think they're happier. They listen to me better. I'm calmer. I'm more direct, and not in like a bad way. I literally am just more intentional and more authentic to who I am, and with kind of no apologies, because what I've kind of figured out is that I'm not a jerk, which has been nice. But part of that is learning how to communicate with others, and that's been the biggest part for me. And again, I went from, I thought it was going to be personal, it went right into my business, and then it shot right back into and now it's in my personal life too, the way I treat my family, my friends, my coworkers.
Yeah, right. Because, that's so interesting that you say that, because what you think is one area that is really affecting you, really how you show up in one part of your life is how you show up in all parts of your life, right? And they're all connected. So it isn't just about, hey, this is about my life or my relationship or my business or my self-care. It's all wrapped into everything, because it is about your mindset and the intention that you want to create for yourself and how you want to show up. And then, like you said, the ripple effect behind that is that everybody begins to feel it and see it, and which, like you said, makes you calmer.
It's contagious.
Contagious. I love that. I absolutely love that. And so one of the other questions is, how long does a person work with a coach? Now, I know that, we've worked together way beyond, that initial discovery session, but what would you say are the 5 benefits to continuing to partner with a coach?
The number one benefit is accountability for me, because it literally makes me sit down. We only meet once a month now, but I sit down once a month and I think about me. I'm not thinking about workers. I'm not thinking about my boyfriend. I'm not thinking about Scott and John, my partners. I'm not thinking about anybody else. I literally forces me to sit down once a month and go, instead of being blacked out the whole time, like I sit down and I think about, what do I want? What is actually going on? Instead of just kind of, your life just snowballs and all of a sudden you just keep going and going, and you wake up a year later and you're like, why am I spinning my wheels doing the same shit I did last year?
Yeah, stuck in the same place.
It makes you literally sit down and think, what happened this month? What do I want to happen next month? And how am I going to get there? And when you and I leave our conversations, we always leave with like, are your 3 takeaways, or what are you going to go out and do next?
Right.
And I love that. Even if I just write it down, maybe I don't do them all, but they're here. And if they aren't actually here, then I don't do them that month, which is no big deal, because they weren't supposed to happen.
Right.
I changed my mind, which I'm also allowed to do that too. So that was a long way of saying accountability is the biggest thing for me. And figuring out what my truth is based on some of the questions that you'll ask. It helps like dig in. But they're just questions that my friends maybe don't ask, or I don't ask myself, or I don't want to answer, quite frankly, some of them. Right. But they're good. They're my truth. Right.
Yeah.
So I like that. I love that I'm growing. I love watching my staff like smile and be happy, because it trickles down from me and how I treat them. And then I see my Justine treat Alex in a way that I have, like she's learning from me. So like it keeps going, not just with me. So I love that part of it. So maybe that's my third one. I'm just more effective as a leader. But yeah, I think the biggest thing is just once a month knowing that, just connecting with myself, because I just won't do it otherwise. And I wish I would, but I won't.
Right. Exactly. I know you love the accountability piece. I know you do. And as I hold you accountable, right?
Yeah.
So, and then the last question that was asked folks was, so, and it's interesting that Lauren touched on this at the beginning, which was, her sister talking about it's not therapy. And that is correct. The question is, is a coach like a therapist? Well, no, we're not. And there's different types of definitions around that. But, I'll just say that a therapist, primarily works with those that may have or may be challenged with mental health conditions, substance abuse, grief, loss, past trauma in their life. Whereas a coach, we are looking to help people move forward. We're already working with healthy, functional folks, but may not be living to their full potential, or they have a goal or dream that they're wanting to achieve and not quite sure why it's not happening. And so through the coaching process, I help to address your mindset and your attitudes around what it is that you're trying to achieve. And to Lauren's point, the accountability process with motivation and inspiration to keep you on track to what it is that you really want to achieve. So I'll say this, Lauren, thank you so much for being here today, and I'm helping answer the questions that the viewers wanted to know from your perspective. And so if anybody is ready to really start stepping into your truth, show up in your life a little bit differently, try the coaching process on. And I'll tell you that if you need any help, it doesn't necessarily have to be me. However, should you want to at least try it on, feel free to hit the link below for a complimentary 45-minute clarity session, and we'll just have a little chat and see if coaching is right for you. Again, thank you so much, Lauren, for being here. And everybody, I'll see you in a couple of weeks for the next edition of Feel Good Friday. Bye. Oh, thank you so much.
Yes.